Coming up, Mao's last dancer, Li Cunxin, in Ipswich to raise the profile of creative industries at a council-hosted summit for the local arts community. And council's now closed Whitwood Road landfill at risk of causing environmental damage without remedial works at a substantial cost. It's Monday, November 16, 2020, and I'm Alan Roebuck. Welcome to Ipswich Today, which acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land on which it is produced and pays respects to elders past, present and emerging. This podcast is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. The first Creators of Ipswich Summit was held on Friday the 13th of November at Ipswich Civic Centre. Mayor Teresa opened the summit with strong words of encouragement.
This council recognises the importance of culture in building, identifying and fostering livability, not to mention the contribution of arts to our local economy. Arts and culture are at the core of the distinctive identity of great cities. Creative expression assists residents and visitors alike to appreciate the unique character of a place and its people. Our city's arts and culture strategy sets out an approach to nurturing and celebrating our local artistic community and creative economy. Today's summit is just one step of many towards achieving the goals of that strategy, and it's a really great opportunity to come together and explore what we, council, and you, our local creators, can do collectively to strengthen and nurture a vibrant arts community and a prosperous creative economy. Our job is to foster collaborations between elected officials, council officers and our communities to realise visions bigger than any one of us could achieve on our own. That's why this Creators of Ipswich Summit is so very important. Collectively, we are all now members of the Creators of Ipswich community, and you, the creative minds of Ipswich, are the founding members of this community. We all have a role to play to proactively participate and contribute to Ipswich's diverse creative community. As your new council, we're here to deliver on our commitments to the creative sector. And I'm pleased to share today that under the direction of this council, a new position has been established to support the development of this very important sector. We created the role of Creative Arts Development Officer and are about to commence interviews over the coming weeks, following over 120 applications.
Queensland Ballet Artistic Director Li Cunxin delivered the keynote address.
I want to congratulate the Mayor and the Council for your vision and support for the arts and culture and the creative industry in Ipswich. As you all know, that being an artist, this is very close to my heart. Without arts, without the artistic journey, I would not be where I am today. I would not have the enriched life experiences that arts has given me.
Li then went on to talk about his own journey, from a remote village in China with virtually no arts and a daily struggle for basic food to the world stage. You can watch his emotional and heartfelt talk in its entirety on Council's YouTube channel. He closed with these words of encouragement for the creative community of Ipswich.
Finally, I'd like to say to you, we're all aware of the challenges Ipswich and your community have experienced in the last few years. And with a new mayor, new council, a new vision, there's such incredible amount of goodwill, good wishes for you to succeed. And that's one of the reasons I agreed to speak today. I truly believe the power of dream. If you allow yourself to be open-minded, to have courage to dream the impossible, to have the strength and a character to make these dreams come true through hard work, dedication, passion, tenacity. Nothing is impossible. You should have a wonderful, exciting first start. You should have a grand vision. You should make Ipswich the shining example, the shining light of success, of aspiration, of innovation. And you artists should lead that journey. You are the dreamers. You are people with imagination. You should be the magnet, attract other like-minded artists to collaborate, to work together. You should be the igniter of vision, of inspiration, of action. If you can be that magnet and the igniter, if you can come together, then the power you can create, the difference you can make, will be unimaginable.
Dr. Ashley Jones from the University of Southern Queensland's School of Creative Arts also presented an analysis of information gathered from the Creators of Ipswich Survey 2020. Dr. Jones conducted surveys with local creators and stakeholders to shape the conversation around what is most important to the Ipswich creative community. You can watch a replay of the entire summit on Council's YouTube channel. Also in this podcast, not widely known is Ipswich City Council's ownership of a landfill in Whitwood Road. The site closed in 2012. At November's Growth, Infrastructure and Waste Committee, councillors considered a report to budget for rectification and preventative measures to make the site compliant under current legislation from no fewer than 4 acts, encompassing standards which are now higher than when the landfill was operating. Council's Manager, Environment and Sustainability, Kay Kavanagh, gave a brief history of previously addressed issues and why the report was presented to councillors.
It was being addressed through that previous capping design and bringing soils onto site, so they were addressing it from that. It's just that that design wasn't as effective due to principally the topography of the site and the materials that were brought on site, heavy erosion, which then potentially allows for water to infiltrate into the waste materials underneath, and that can lead to future risk around leachate. So by having a clay capping, we're ensuring that we're not getting that water infiltration into the site and managing that more effectively.
Mayor Teresa Harding.
So we're devil's advocate. How do we know that this will work? Because I'm sure in previous years, but 8 years ago when they put the other capping on, that they thought that would work. So how do we know this will work?
Yeah, we've engaged an external consultant, DHD, who are very well experienced to provide us with that advice. And this is a tried and tested solution on other closed landfills.
CEO David Farmer responded to questions about the design and any likelihood of failure of future works.
Yeah, we would specify the design. It's not a proprietary product. We ultimately, any construction project has risk, but if it's designed to appropriate engineering standards, there should be little to no risk of failure as long as it is constructed to the standard that is specified.
The meeting was also assured by the CEO that the proposed works would be adequately supervised, and he highlighted issues with older landfills.
2 things. We have our own in-house supervision, but we may choose to engage a third party to manage and supervise that, because it is complex stuff and it's stuff we don't do very often. And I guess the underlying issue with this just shows the risks and challenges more broadly about closed landfills. Now, as I understand it, this landfill wasn't lined originally, is that correct?
Indications that it wasn't, yes.
So a modern landfill has a clay and often a synthetic layer lining as well. So most of the landfills that have been established, private landfills that have been established recently, have been built to higher standards than we operated our landfill at. But we operated our landfill historically to the standards that were appropriate at the time. But they do present challenges now. The most important thing, particularly given it hasn't been lined, is to keep water out. Because if you get water into a landfill, that then produces leachate, which is colloquially described by somebody as garbage juice, which can then produce significant off-site environmental effects to both groundwater and to the surrounding environment. So it is quite a serious issue and something that we are going to have to address. This is solutions we've proposed. We'll pressure test this before we go ultimately and spend that money, but clearly a situation where there's a reasonably recently closed landfill and reasonably large that's allowing water to get in is not acceptable to ourselves, our local community or the government.
To view a full replay of the Growth, Infrastructure and Waste Committee, just go to Ipswich City Council's YouTube channel. Minutes and officers' reports are also available on Council's website. Ipswich Today is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. This podcast is also listener-supported. Please make a once-only gift or regular donation to help keep it online. Just go to ipswichtoday.com.au and click the donate button at the bottom of the page. You can subscribe for free and share this podcast from your favourite app, including iHeartRadio, or play Ipswich Today from your smart speaker. Music is supplied by Purple Planet Music. This is Alan Roebuck. Thanks for listening.